We got ourselves team 1 with Rage. Oh, I know it's Rage, but I like Rage better. We also got ourselves Rick Tigdom? Ricky? We call him Ricky. We got us Menethos as well as Fire, as well as X. Oh my god, why is he looking so angry under the helmet? He looks like vicious. Like really angry. Like what happened? Maybe A-Bomb did something. We got us a Sarath in here as well as Belly with Jesse as well as A-Bomb. It looks like we're missing one on team 1, but hopefully they'll load in. I guess we'll try to see if we can play out a game anyway, boys. Looks like Menethil wants to go up first. Looks like he's kind of itching and ready to play as a Shadow Priest potentially. Looks like he is maybe going to be going up first. I think Jesse might be first up versus him instead. Wait. XO, maybe he's dueling. It's hard to tell. Looks like Menethil is going to be first up as a Shadow Priest. I do like the way that pet looks, or the way the mount looks, by the way. Really good looking mount. Looks like Jesse is going to be first up versus him. A Feral Druid versus a Shadow Priest, opening up onto a Menethil. Taking the damage and the bleeds in the opener. Does go for a stun onto Jesse, however, with a Void Eruption off the bat, just trying to make the cooldowns work here. Jesse doesn't go for a trinket just yet. It looks like we do get a 5th in here. It looks like it is going to be flying in BOTQP. Bot. I guess we'll call him Bot. This is the best way you could do it. Going to be a Cyclone by Jesse onto Menethil. Trinkets out of with the silence onto the Feral Druid. Does get the dots up and rolling. Jesse is going to take a little bit of that pressure from the dots roar onto Menethil. It looks like they're trying to separate from one another. Menethil trying to see if he can get some dots onto Jesse. Jesse trying to go in the opposite direction. Does catch a resell for a second, but it's not going to be enough to keep him in stealth. Doesn't get any shields like Rogues do in stealth, so that's going to make it kind of rough for him. Gonna be a big opener by Menethil. Big damage. Jesse does get a maim and turns around with a big old bites to follow. Stun onto Jesse, trying to make the mind games work. Gonna be a skull bash by Jesse as Menethil has a bunch of haste ready with that PI. Getting the pet up and running with that Shadowfin. Looks like Shadowfin does dissipate. Menethil has a few seconds left on the PI. He isn't able to really maximize any kind of damage off it. The Shadow Crash does connect, keeping Jesse in combat. Looks like Menethil is going to go for Door of Shadows, trying to see if he can get next to Jesse. Might be able to make something work here. Potentially, maybe. So Jesse is going to count himself a full reset instead. And it looks like it's going to be opener by the Druid. Menethil does have some cooldowns coming up very soon. That is one thing that's cool about Shadow Priest is generally short CDs on everything. Offensives and defensives. Generally squishy. Generally does good damage. I would say the defensives are very impactful. The defensives are strong. Offensives not as necessary. I feel like Shadow Fiend is quite a bit of damage, but not an insane amount of damage. Convoke coming out. Menethil does go for a disperses. Looks like Jesse got himself big offensives ready. With Cyclone into Menethil, not letting him recover any health while dispersed into a Cyclone. Looks like he's just gonna go for a reset yet again. Menethil, he's got himself some Shadow Mins, trying to catch up on a little bit of health. It looks like maybe an opener by Jesse, but looks like it's going to be stun reset by Menethil with the mind games right after. Void from to follow. Jesse trying to make a cyclone happen with a silence right after. Jesse under a lot of pressure. Can't even heal themselves. Mind Blast flying by Menethil and Jesse. It's under quite a lot of pressure. Waited out for the Mind Blast. Does have himself the Frenzied Regeneration while inside a bear form, letting him recover quite a bit of health worth of damage, which is pretty strong by itself. It doesn't even have any kind of like negative effects of like, it doesn't even have any caveats of based on how much damage you took, it recover health. No, it's just a portion of your health. You're just gonna end up recovering him. And it ends up being quite a lot every single time. Cycle trying to come out for Jesse, stopping Menethil in its wake. As Menethil doesn't really have a short CD on a silence whatsoever. Menethil does go for a big Shadow Crash, stun to Jesse. PI is available for the Shadow Priest. Has Mind Blast ready to follow. Jesse knows he can't really heal himself. Can't even heal with a silence to follow. Gonna be a Shadow Priest boarding around the corner. Just needed a Shadow Board death to end it there. But Jesse does get a wall rolling here while low on health. ZPs are accumulating. Jesse is going to be under quite a lot of pressure here. DP as well as the dots wrecking and tearing right through him. Not going to let him catch a reset, or at least unlikely, as Menethil does have plenty of pressure on the guy every time he gets the dots rolling. But one thing Jesse does have that Menethil doesn't is mobility. So Jesse can kind of just dance around Menethil, and Menethil just can't chase after him behind boxes or anything like that. It's going to be an opener by the Feral. By now, maybe Convoke should be available very, very soon though. Skull Bash on the Manatho. Does he have the Convoke to follow up? Does he have the damage to follow? He's trying to make those shreds work, but looks like he doesn't have enough for a bite. And Barskin is available as Manatho goes in for a Void Eruption. Jesse does Shadow Mill for a second, roar onto Manatho, hits him with a silence to follow him, and Jesse tucks tails and runs, trying to go for a little bit of a regrowth to separate away from Manatho and catch up on health. Shadow Crash around the corner doesn't actually tag him, doesn't move the needle when it comes to that health bar, at least not yet. Shadow Crash does go for greater fade away to fade away from the Cyclone. Manatho landing, yet hit with another Maim. Convoke comes out. Jesse does get those Convokes, but every time into it, Disperse just doesn't really have damage outside of Convokes by the looks of it. Or not a lot of damage outside of Convokes, really. Manatho shielding himself, doing okay on health for now, unless Jesse all of a sudden just gets a massive crit bite out of nowhere. DPs are getting set up on the Feral. Manatho, not a lot of insanity really available for those DPs. That's a PI. Actually dropping kind of low on health. Looks like maybe Jesse might have it. Manatho trying to turn this around. All the instant casts are getting used. Manatho kind of low himself though. Fear onto Jesse. Mind Games right after. Should be able to heal himself right now. Jesse would just end up doing damage to Manatho instead. Silence onto Jesse. It looks like Manatho might have it. Manatho actually got crazy low. Jesse actually was doing quite a bit of damage, but looks like out of the frying pan into the oven with Sarath up next. From one Feral into the next, it looks like Ricky is gonna be up next with a Radiant Spark Fire Mage Combustion coming out with a Meteor. Oh, one shot! He actually one shot Sarath! The Meteor actually obliterated him. What was that? Oh my god, he literally one shot the Feral. What was that? That was the fourth hit of that Kyrian ability. The fourth hit being a Meteor that's combusted, 40% more damage, 100% crit, just complete martyrdom. Oh my god, that was insane. Belly up next. Fear onto Ricky is gonna go for a Warbreaker with a Blaze Storm, but looks like he's actually not gonna be able to catch up to Ricky. What is this shadow effect that he has around him? That was kind of cool looking. Ricky goes in for a breath while he gets interrupted into a Nova. Belly just can't catch up to him at all though. He's getting the stuns, but while he's far away, just not working out for him at all. This is going to be Belly getting hit in a Polymorph while Avatar is available. Looks like Ricky's just going to wait it out. Does he have another setup? Does he have another setup with the Kyrian? Looks like he has the Meteor back up. Radiant Spark is up. Looks like Radiant Spark actually didn't go through. Meteor coming in. Breath and Belly getting hit with a Meteor. Was that Kyrian Wombo combo part of it? Does have a Fireball reflected back to Ricky, but Ricky not doing that bad at all. Does get a knockback from Belly. It's going to be a Strongbow that he does go for a Trinket into Alter Time as well. And Belly just doesn't really have a lot of health to work with here. I think it might be over. Does have a Warbreaker onto Ricky. Ricky didn't lose too much health, but is going to get a shield, so that's going to be lots of health recovery. Belly kind of low on health though. Does have a parry. Definitely needs to find a perfect opportunity to use that parry. Ricky has combustion back up. I think Ricky is playing the build where every fireball lets you get combustion back faster and faster. He's literally efficient for combust. The Belly is playing the Ventier Warrior, so he does have the big condemns. Could be big damage. Does maybe turn something around against Ricky. Ricky knocking him back for a moment. That's going to be shields back up. Belly needs those condemns to slap. Needs those condemns to really make effort. Ricky does go for fireballs. I think he's just trying to take out Belly without having to commit too much damage. Yo, if only Belly could get an opener and get big condemn slamming into Ricky, that would have been massive damage at the beginning. Bot is going to be up next. Ricky tried to see if he could live for Bot. He's going to try to go for the Kyrian setup as a Fire Mage with the Radiant Spark. Looks like the Ice Block does come out before the Cauterize comes in. So Ricky isn't going to have the Ice Block, which is a pretty big defensive kind of gone. Ring of Peace is going to boop him out of the way, trying to get the Arcane Dami rolling onto Bot. Incap does come out. Does he get it off? Looks like Bot is actually going to back out. I think Bot is extremely sus of the damage that Ricky can do. Extremely sus of it. Doesn't want to do it. Doesn't want to let the Radiant Spark even happen. Interrupting Radiant Spark out of all the abilities. Does go for Ring of Frost. Looks like might actually CC Bot. Looks like that's going to happen. Might need a Karma for this. Might need a Karma this immediately. It's going to have a Karma as that Meteor does do a lot of damage. Actually burning through the Karma of a Bot. Bot is not in a good spot. So is Ricky. Does go for all the time. Bot saving himself for a little bit. Needs himself more healing. Ricky does recover a lot of health all the time. Incap onto Ricky for a second. Pyroblast and Phoenixes keep flying. Looks like he actually has a lot of pressure. Does go for a Breath onto Bot. doing a piece, knocking the Mage back, rolling next to the Mage leg sweep. That's gonna be a chicken for Ricky. Does a bot super low. This is from a Globus. Is gonna be cauterized available. This is a Pyro Phoenix comes in, and Ricky, not in a great spot. His south is actually burning out. Shields available though, and only a bomb left on the enemy team was a Frost. DK trying to make the big plays onto Ricky. Looks like he's just trying to make some obliterates happen. Just make some obliterate slam in. Is he going for was that a Frost Strikes, I guess? It looks like he is gonna take down the Mage. Gonna be big damage out of XO. Going for the aim shots, getting yoinked in by the DK with a stun on, oh no, maybe not a stun. It looks like the enemy team Rage is getting grouped in. The A-bomb limb can't help it. A-bomb limb can literally not help it. And that's gonna be A-bomb super low. Does go for a death pact. XO going for a turtle shell. Looks like the Hunter just trying to turn the damage around onto A-bomb. It looks like it's gonna have the kill shots ready. You see Scarpal aim shots, and that's gonna be over. Wow. The burst out of this team, man. The bursty plays out of these teams have been kind of nutty. Yo, I think team 2, we need to get him back in there, dude. A lot of the dudes didn't really get a chance to play. Ricky with the one-shots, dude. Let's go. Actually crazy. What's up, Pink Headed, my man? Hope you're having a good one. Let's get another one.